Well, we're back with another episode of Ripple Effect Podcast. Oh, yeah. Do I have a good radio voice when I do that?
You really do.
Oh, thank you. I was really trying that time.
That was a great intro. I love that, truly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, as you guys know, I'm Lauren.
I'm Lindsay.
And today we have somebody that we're so flipping excited to tell you about. And it's our friend, Tyler Ramey. Let's give it up for Tyler.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
clapping
You
for
snapped
myself.
yourself, literally.
I can't snap. That's a fun fact
I
about
can't
me.
either.
I can't do it.
Okay, well, I'll do snaps.
I'm so happy to be here.
I know.
I'm thrilled,
I can't believe we're
actually.
doing this. We've talked about this forever.
We have.
And here we are.
I know. I want it to be a weekly occurrence.
Me too. Okay.
I would say, like, in the comments below, say that you want it to be a weekly
There'll be
occurrence.
comments.
I bet. I don't know how podcasts work.
There
I'm
will be
a grandma.
No, we're gonna post it on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and send it out to all our Ripple users.
Oh, my Lord.
So if they want us back, they can let us know.
Let us know, honey.
Let us know,
Let
honey.
us know. Hashtag. I don't even know what the hashtag is going to be
Hashtag
yet.
anything.
Yeah.
We don't have an
We'll
hashtag.
get it.
We will get one. Though.
Okay.
We'll come up with a good one.
But so there's like 5 million reasons I'm excited that you're here.
Okay.
And I know Lindsay's excited too.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that have not been blessed by your presence.
Oh, my God.
IRL in real life for all the elderly people that watch this.
Like me.
Me.
like us. But
We'll fix it.
Tyler, tell us about yourself,
Oh,
son.
my Lord.
Like,
I don't even know where to
fill us in.
start.
Okay, we'll rein it in a little bit.
Yeah, rein
Let's
it in.
talk about so most of our listeners are either students, grad students, or young professionals.
Little babies out there.
Little babies.
I love it.
But there is some people that are just like maybe feeling burnt out or stuck in their career or
Yep.
honestly not knowing how to find something that they're excited about.
Yeah.
So I
Same.
want you, also same,
Right.
but we're working on it.
We are.
But I want you to run us through a little bit of your professional journey and maybe if any of your passions played into that up to this point. I don't know. Just give us
Yeah.
a rundown.
Okay. How long
Start-
do we have? Hours.
The limit
Take
does
it.
not exist.
Sky's the limit.
The sky's
We
the
don't
limit.
want to limit you at all.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, no limits here.
Well, I thought about this yesterday
Ooh.
because I thought as I was looking at my student loan debt.
Oh.
I'm not kidding. I thought I love that I'm paying for a debt for a degree that I'm not using at all.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know what I
familiar
mean?
with
It's
that.
fun.
That's a real fun thing.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Take my money. I'm not doing what I'm paying you that I said I was going to do
Yeah.
for myself. So my degree is in K through 6 education.
I did not know that.
It
No,
is.
I-
But then again, I can see that
Yeah.
though.
I
Yeah.
can, but I can't. I
Right.
can and
Like
can't.
I see that, but I think you're much better suited, obviously, for what you do now.
Yeah,
But
I
like I
don't
could
know.
see you being great with kids.
Yeah, I mean that was what I thought was my joy, and it's so funny because like my brain was just so different then.
Yeah.
and I almost like chose teaching because I just didn't know what else to do, and it was you go to college, you get a degree, so you
Right.
have to pick now, and like I had to pick that when I was a senior, so that's what I picked, and that's what I went with.
Yeah.
Now, some people may know from the second they're born, like I need to be a teacher.
Yeah.
and if you feel like that, I think that's great.
Right.
like
It's a
do
beautiful
it.
thing. I
Did not
change
feel-
my profession weekly.
Right. And
You know.
isn't it weird to we say to these like young people like you need to decide right now what you're going to do for the rest
Yes,
of your
I've always
life.
said that. Like you're
It's terrifying.
18,
It's horrible.
you don't know. Most kids don't even know how to do their own laundry.
No.
And we say, okay, so time to pick your profession. In a lot of cases, especially in the South, your spouse,
Yeah. Get
how
married.
you want to
Have
manage
kids
your
immediately.
finances
Yes.
for the next 25 years.
Yes.
Because like you're talking about like student debt. Like we put all this pressure our society. I'm like, I am a big fan of like the gap year. I think that's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing because
Yeah.
like get a year of experience under your belt, work for a year, do something just to hold the time so
Yeah.
you can make better choices.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people feel like that.
It's
like you do.
hard.
It is hard.
And we're so like young in our brains and we're supposed to pick what we're going to do forever.
We have
So
no
I
clue.
thought that was
It's
my
impossible
path.
to do.
And it could have been my path, but my path sort of
Took a
I'm
big ol'-
showing you all these things and I'm on the podcast, but I'm motioning the other way.
Oh, there's a video
Oh,
too.
oh,
there's
So
video.
these-
Wow.
these
They're
are
all
recordings.
on?
Yeah.
we're
So like
gonna-
my
Yeah. So
path
many
goes
angles.
like,
So they
yeah,
can
the
see
path is like so many forks in
Yeah.
the road.
Yes.
And so I started working at the YMCA. At the old
Yes.
YMCA. I call it the old YMCA.
the OG
Right?
YMCA on
Yeah,
the hill
back on the chop with the chop house, yes.
with the job.
Worked at the front desk, and then I was working in the child watch, so I was keeping the babies while mom and dad's worked out.
Okay.
And it got to a point where I was like, okay, I have to get my big boy job. I have to be a teacher. And I got offered a job by Kingsport City And I was like, okay, y'all, like, I
This
gotta
is
go, I gotta go
Let's
teach third
go.
grade now. And they
Who
were like,
authorized me to do this?
yeah, like, this is what I'm paying for. And they were like, well, you know, we really want to keep you, so we'll pay you whatever they're going to pay you if you'll stay. And I was like,
amazing.
well, fine.
Okay.
So I stayed. And then my
Okay.
career at the Y kind of like took some changes, but I was there for 15 years.
Yeah.
For a long
crazy.
time.
Because like I think that's how most people in the community know you. It's
Yeah.
like
That's where I
Yeah.
first
Tyler
met
Ramey
you.
YMCA.
That's right. That's the first association.
Yes, that's so
For
true.
sure. So I started teaching
favorite
classes. Well, I paid her to say that. Started off as doing all these part-time roles. They merged them all into one. It kind of changed throughout the years at the Y. But towards the end, I was mainly focused on group exercise, like being over the classes, and anything like health and fitness related. So
And again, that's that like teacher in you.
it is. So I definitely use all my
Yeah.
young
So that's the
teaching
thing.
skills for adults daily.
Right.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yeah.
Oh, you really do now. Well,
Especially like K through 3.
yeah.
Like that mindset comes
Be
into handy
nice.
a lot.
Say thank
That's
you.
right.
You know, like
Yes.
We're going to use our manners. Put your pants on.
correspond. Yeah. Please don't pee in the corner.
Right.
All of us in COVID,
Right.
put your pants on.
We don't
It's
eat
time.
that out of the floor.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I said that yesterday.
She
Yeah.
actually has a toddler.
Yeah.
But okay, so yes, Tyler Ramey YMCA.
So
It's
there
like
we
the-
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
like a
okay,
doctor,
yeah, you-
Tyler Ramey MD.
Yeah, that's right.
Tyler Ramey.
So you guys have to
YMCA.
keep me on track
No,
here.
you're
No,
good.
we're not
So the
very good at
YMCA
that.
happened 15 years later. There's just a lot of changes that happened, and with my own brain,
Mm-hmm.
and just I feel like you get to a point where you've done something so long and you love it. Like that was my passion, truly,
Yeah.
and still is. Like I'm still teaching classes. Can't wait to be back to that next month. But I just needed a change. It was like the universe / my soul / everything was like, okay, it's time
Time to
for
shift.
something new.
Yeah.
And that's so hard because I don't know if you felt this way, but I've had what I am doing and where I am now is like nowhere where I thought I would be when I was 18. So when I found my first passion, okay, well, first of all, I dropped out of school like twice before I went back and finished. So my path was like,
Yeah, but
for the
I
scholastic.
think everyone's is.
Yes, but then I was like, oh, I have something I'm excited about. And then I ran with that for years, and I thought, this is it. This is my identity. I must only be passionate about this one thing. This is what people know me as. There's no way for me to pivot into
Yes.
anything different ever
For
again.
sure.
So when your brain started changing, are you feeling like,
It's
that
a panicky
pull-
Oh,
feeling.
you're
like-
you're like, I'm not supposed to change. Like
yes,
This is who I am.
This is who I am, and I need to be confident in my identity because we tie up work to our identity, which
Yes.
is so stupid.
Yes.
It's a very American
So
thing.
stupid.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, that was a huge thing because you feel almost like you're in this like not a prison, but like
Like you've
this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This
and
is
this
my
is
job.
what people know
Right.
me as.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was the go-to at the Y.
You
Well,
re-
and that-
you
yes.
I really
but
was.
for real, seriously.
Well,
And so
because
that's
you were
hard.
there for so long, you'd done so many roles.
Yes.
People knew if they had a question, they could go to you, and you knew the answer
That's right.
because you had done everything
Yeah.
there.
yeah.
You know,
And that's hard to leave.
yeah.
Because immediately I knew that I was gonna go from big fish, little pond
Yes.
to newborn baby goldfish in the Atlantic Ocean.
Right.
You were-
and that
you
is
were
really
the
hard.
I was
I'm
not
glad
ready.
that you touched on that. That's the hardest thing is like feeling like you have all kinds of autonomy in one facet.
Yes.
But then saying, I'm going to make a true effort. Like I am purposely throwing myself into the Atlantic Ocean
Yeah.
to be a little fish.
it's hard.
It's
to do.
so scary. It's
awful.
so difficult to walk away from a place where you are
Comfort.
and
the
top dog,
identity
and we're
thing.
and it is so easy for you because you've done so many different parts of it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and especially given like for those of you that don't know, like the path of the YMCA here in our community started out in a little
Rinky dink, you can
rinky-dink
say it.
space,
Yeah.
Rinky-dink.
and
was.
you know
It
from
really was.
nothing, and we're not like a community that's had like a YMCA for 100 years
Forever,
or whatever.
right.
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's like you were there from
Yeah.
basically the inception. Like how old
Right.
was the Y when you started there?
I think when I started there, they had probably been in that facility, I don't know, a couple years. So
Yeah.
it was still like
Very new.
early days.
You're
Now
like a
we're in like
pillar of it.
they're in like it's huge. It's in a multi-million
Yeah.
dollar facility.
Not a
It's-
typical YMCA.
No,
like
not a
Taj
typical
Mahal.
YMCA. Yeah, like it's amazing.
We're talking about the Y, and all these people are like imagining the Y in their towns, and they're like,
Yeah.
No,
Actually,
ours
y'all,
is like
we
this
have
is
to
over
like
the
take
top.
it. We should have
Oh,
done
yeah.
it.
like
It's
it is
amazing.
the when I tell people that don't live here, I'm like that is the place. Like that's the gym.
Yes.
Like that's like the, you know, like it's
the one that everything is compared to.
yes,
Yes.
All
it's the gold
gyms here,
standard.
it is.
And it's the gold standard for our region, not
It
just our
is.
town.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Even
So,
like Knoxville. I
right.
mean,
Like it's
sorry,
very, very
Knoxville
nice.
Wise, I love you.
Yeah.
But, you
We
know,
get
so
shot
you
down.
really did, like, you grew up with that.
Oh, I grew up with the Y.
Business.
I mean, the YMCA literally raised me. I mean
Yeah.
that. I mean that with everything
and
in my heart.
that's so terrifying to walk
Yeah.
away from.
And it gave me for the first time in my life, because like pre-YMCA, I never felt like the cool kid or like the person who everybody looked up to, and the YMCA instilled that in me. So it was super hard to leave that.
And
Very
it's,
hard, but
like,
that's
such
probably-
a part of your like story and all of that now, which that's the thing. It's like, I know I am so quick to find my identity in my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
I battle that like every day. I think
Yeah.
I will battle that indefinitely. I think even if I'm like old and retired and it's just a hobby, I'll go all in with that, which there's goods and bads to that. But having an identity like outside of that, like
Mm-hmm.
it's all important because it does like instill that confidence and stuff
Mm-hmm.
to you. But like when you started to, how did you feel when you started like transitioning out of that? Like
Oh,
that,
terrible.
Yeah.
Awful.
So what was that transition like? Where I'm trying to remember where you
So-
went next.
Yeah, like how did you like make that break? Was it like a clean break, or was it,
It
like
was
I know because I know you're still
clean-ish.
teaching,
Yeah,
and
it
so
was clean-ish. So I became a realtor, thinking I'll do that on the side,
Mm-hmm.
just as a side hustle. It's something I've always wanted to do. I think it would be really cool. I'll try it. So I did that, got my license, and then like quickly I discovered 50 plus hours at the week plus, 30
They were-
plus hours at the week real estate. It's
We're running
not
out of
working
time.
for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, and I'm a person who has to have a lot of downtime. A lot of downtime.
Papaw's got to have his downtime.
Papaw's got to have his downtime.
listen,
I got to be in my chair at
we-
night.
yeah.
It's hard to be an extra. Well,
It's like
I'm-
being an introverted extrovert. Because
That's right.
People think that you're always going 90 miles per hour,
Always.
but you can like, I am fine to just retreat.
well,
Yeah.
and that's because with what you do, and with what I do, you have to be on all the time.
always.
So when I get a chance and I'm not like working or doing anything for like the spot or Bellmead Designs, I'm out of words.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
word count has been spent.
There's no.
I don't
no
have.
speaking.
Yeah, like I just want to sit
Yeah.
and mindlessly watch the Netflix.
All right. So your path was why this is who I am. This is my identity.
Kinda like
Complete
merging,
identity.
starting to feel that pull to maybe there's something else, but it's like this an internal battle. You
Try
make
to
the
dip your
jump.
toe into real estate.
I tried,
which
and
is
then
never a part-time
It's like
job.
real
It's either
estate.
it's all or
Yeah,
nothing.
real estate grabbed my toe that was in the water
Yeah.
and like yanked me in.
And
and
sucked
then
you
you're
in.
drowning.
And I was like, wow, I'm going to have to switch here. I'm going to have to keep the why and keep what I love, which is the classes, but give up being there my entire waking existence.
Right.
Yeah.
And dedicate that to real estate and then just do what I love, which is teaching classes,
Mm-hmm.
which I
So-
thought was going to be perfect.
But then this is where I am like excited to talk about. I'm excited for people to hear about that. If you find your identity in your work, like we pretty much all battle that. And
Yeah.
I love hearing you like make those comments. But then I want to talk about what happened when you tried to do every single thing. So you're trying to do the why, you're trying to do real estate, you're trying to have downtime, you're trying to have a life outside of this.
Yeah.
And you
I started having all these like illnesses. I remember, Lauren, I will never forget that conversation we had in the kitchen here at Cumberland Marketing.
my office here is like off the kitchen.
Yeah.
So all the heart to hearts happen in the
Yeah,
kitchen.
it's true. Just
Yes.
like at home.
Yes.
And it just seemed like everything was piling on me at once. Like I was having all these weird health issues because of lingering post-COVID things. And it was a thyroid, a thyroid disease, which I didn't know. I mean, who was to know? So it turns out that I have what's called Graves' disease.
As soon as I heard it, I was like,
It sounds way worse than it is.
freaked me out though. Why would they name it that?
But what I discovered in that time, I'm an avid exerciser. And exercise to me is like that downtime. Like it is a absolute
It's a recharge.
non-negotiable
Fills your bucket.
necessity. Like
Yeah.
has to happen. And so when that was not happening, when I could not do anything for a month exercise-wise, I was really close to losing it. Like I think I'm this very emotionally stable person. Turns out I'm on like a thread. Like
We're hanging
I
on
missed
by a
one
thread.
class.
Yeah.
I'm about to jump off
Yes.
the
Hard,
edge.
but it
yeah.
sounds crazy, but like I understand what you're saying
I
because
get that.
I've been there and it is hard to be not completely out of your routine. And even that, like we talked in another episode about how maybe our days are a little chaotic and you're a real estate agent and you're doing all these things. So like your days fluctuate, but you have like these core things that you're always going to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that kind of ground you.
Yes.
And so when those are taken away, it's hard. So when that was taken away from you, would you say that's like the first time maybe you experienced like burnout, like what you felt like was
burnout / legitimate depression that I never have experienced in my life, and a sense of stress and anxiety. Now, I will say part of that was the Graves' disease and the thyroid issue, because it can give you stress and anxiety just as a symptom.
Right.
So it could have been just, a combination of everything. But that was like the first time in my life where I was like, I don't have my outlet of exercise. I'm in a crazy job where it's go, go, go 24/7. The society shut down. Like it's 2020. No one knows what's happening.
Yeah.
Like I'm having a real hard time. And that's the first time I remember saying that in a really long time.
Yeah.
like actually saying it out loud?
Yeah.
Because you can mask that stuff for so long, but eventually it's
It comes
gonna
out.
like
Yeah,
it's like
it boils
a
over.
can that like those
a Lauren
can
Glass.
games with like all the to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lost it.
I'm not a therapist. I am not a therapist. I'm not. But I feel like it's like a gift, honestly, from God. I'm like, it's a gift from God. Like,
Truly
saying
a gift.
But it really is, because, and I think, like, talking to you that day, it's weird, but it helped me, because when I was in that burnout situation, it's like I physically, no matter how hard I wanted to try, I could not articulate how I was feeling. All I could say is like, I don't feel like myself.
That's right.
I can't move. I don't have energy. It was just crazy. I cried. Like, I'm not even
And
a
there's
crier.
no real reason.
No,
right?
that's
that
the
you
thing.
can
Like,
pinpoint.
That you can
it's just
pinpoint.
the perfect storm of
Yeah.
all the things.
I think that a lot of people that are going to be listening to this, maybe this will be the first time they can identify that
Yeah.
feeling. And just like kind of recapping your journey, we're all going to have that path,
Yeah.
whether it's at the Y or you're somewhere, whatever. You're going to have something that you intertwine yourself with.
Yeah.
And eventually you're going to change.
Yeah.
You're going to change courses. First of all, that's okay.
Right.
It's completely normal to change your course.
It's good. You want to
Yes.
change course. It means you're growing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then second of all, you're probably going to have times in your life that you're going to overcommit to absolutely everything.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Especially when
But-
you're afraid to let one thing go.
Yes.
Right.
But acknowledge that now, because you can kind of acknowledge that may happen, so that if burnout does come, try to prevent it at all costs.
Yeah.
But if it does come, once you got to that point, okay, you're in that point, you kind of feel like you're not going to come out of it.
Right.
I felt like I was trapped in that
Oh,
forever.
I
Yeah.
was trapped, like in a deep dark hole.
Like,
So
how
what
did you turn that corner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
What did you do to turn the corner?
And it was so insurmountable that I thought, how am I going to that sounds so dramatic, but like, how am I going
I
to
get it.
claw myself out of this and get back to like who I know that I am as a
Yes.
person? And it just took time, and it took energy and effort in getting back to my exercise and back to my routines and back to the things that I love. And I love real estate. Let me preface that by saying
And
I
you rock
love
at
it.
it.
I love it. I have been very blessed. Love it. It's a great job. Is it something I'm going to do for the rest of my life? I honestly don't know.
Right.
I may do it for the rest of my life. Hopefully. I don't know. But
But you have
I'm
an
open.
identity outside of that now.
I'm completely have an identity outside of that, and I'm open to a change if it arises. It may
Right.
not, but I've learned to be like, okay, if I do pivot, you just got to go with that pivot.
Right.
Go with the
Because there's no reason to lay around in agony and be miserable all the time, thinking that you have to do something a certain way, or you have to do this because you've always done it and this is your job. Who knows? I
Right.
could be an ice cream truck vendor tomorrow.
But that's the thing about like burnout, and I think burnout can actually be seen, to me, when I look back on my experience with burnout, it was the best thing
Yeah.
that could
Yeah.
have possibly ever happened to me. And if you would have told me in that moment that I would say that one day, I would be like, you are quite literally on drugs. Like,
Right.
I barely want to live the next day.
You're out of your mind.
But you like have to get knocked all the way down. It's like a phoenix rising from
It
the
is.
Well, it is
It's
true. It's
so
really
dramatic,
true.
But it is like you get knocked down
From your
and then you
biggest
find-
defeats, you can find your biggest
Yeah.
victories.
We're literally a Pinterest quote.
Well,
It's so true,
but
though.
It's so true. And I remember
Literally are.
talking to Lauren. I remember
put
talking
it
to
on the
you
wall.
like
Christian Mingle.
after you had kind of like you'd come back here and you'd kind of like started to figure out like you were in the process of figuring out what do I want to do now? Like where do I go now? And
And I was sure there was nothing else for me to do.
Yeah.
At the ripe old age of 27, I have peaked.
right?
Honestly, that's what
But
I
the
felt
thing-
like.
I
though.
mean, and your brain tricks you
Yes.
into believing those
Yes.
lies.
Completely. Completely.
sure.
So I think part of it too is like me saying to you, I remember saying to you, like, it's going to be okay. You're going to figure it out and you're going to be better because of this, because now you have the time to choose who you want to be, where you want to go, what you want to do.
Makes me that much stronger.
Well, and instead of like,
copyright claim.
Thanks
y'all are
make
out of
me
control.
Brighter.
Oh my gosh.
But really,
So, well, but it's true. Like, so you get to reinvent yourself, and I think that like I wouldn't say I had like a massive like epiphany of burnout, for lack of a better way to put it, but like basically my whole early 20s were like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
This is a
Was a
disaster.
crisis.
Right.
It was all a crisis.
Yeah.
It really was. Like, and it was just really like a string of really poor decisions.
Yeah.
But like,
Lindsay
so I
and I
really
have had run-ins with the police, the IRS.
oh gosh, you
Credit
name it.
Bureau.
I've
Oh my
experienced
God.
it.
The early
But I've
20s
never
were a
been to
wild.
jail.
They were a
insane.
wild
Yeah.
ride, sweetie.
Yeah.
Hey.
But like I do remember being 25 and going, okay, 20s bad, crash and burn. Like, so I just remember thinking, okay, I've got to be really intentional about what I become and how much of myself I give to that, because I had my identity was in high school. I was, cheerleader, and then in college I was, I did pageants and I did all that, like, but none of those things added up to an identity that I felt at home in forever. And so that's when I realized, like, I need to find my identity within myself and not within my occupation or my friends or my, my marriage or, like I needed to find it for myself. And I think you kind of, like you said, you have to come to that point where you're totally broken over it so that you can be really careful and intentional moving forward. So you can get to a place where you say, like, I might not do real estate forever.
Right.
I'm open
And
to
that
transition.
doesn't feel like soul crushing.
And that's
to have to
okay.
say.
Like,
Yeah.
that's okay to say out loud.
Right.
Yes.
Like, it's exciting. I think it's very like, it's hopeful and
Yeah.
exciting.
Yes.
Like, because you feel like you're always waiting you're always anticipating something wonderful coming your way.
Yeah.
To keep your mind open to that. I feel like that lets me take advantage of all the opportunities
I agree
that
completely.
arise.
It's almost scary, like a scary feeling to think that you're going to do something forever.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So why do you want to do that? Because it gives me like anxiety.
I know.
Like,
I feel
start sweating a little
immediately
bit
feel
right then.
like
Yeah.
we're
I'm
Enneagram
clammy.
7s. We run from like. Are you a 7? You are.
I'm a 7 wing 6 or maybe 6.
Yeah.
On the Enneagram.
Vice versa, yes.
Ask Stephanie
But-
Myers, she'll know.
I will, but it's like you feel that trapped feeling of like commitment. So
Yeah.
it's like never. Okay, give us some like tangible things. Like, what did you do? Did you start? Did you reach out to people when we're climbing out of burnout
'Kay.
and we're moving forward?
Yep.
So what would you recommend people do? What did you do?
I think definitely speaking it into existence to other people.
Yes.
Because chances are they've either been there, done that, or they have some experience.
Right.
So it's always helpful. Just get it out of your brain. Like,
Yes.
get it out of your brain. Every single one of us are our own worst enemies.
Yeah.
For
true.
sure.
So true.
Like, there is a person in my head that I hate
Hates
him.
me.
Like, he's
I hate
my
him
worst
and he
enemy.
hates
Yes.
me or
Oh,
she.
like we're about to fight all the time.
Yes.
Because it's just the negative self-talk. So it's important because sometimes you are going through these things and it's not even as crazy as it sounds in your own brain. You just need to hear it from somebody else.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm stressed out too, and this is why. And so I think talking it out
Yes.
is the biggest thing. Don't conceal, don't feel, except the opposite. Feel, don't conceal.
Don't feel. Okay.
I'm not
no.
going to sing that
And
song.
when I
say,
get
we have
this
to stop with the
microphone,
musical
when I
interludes.
get the microphone in front of me, it's just like.
How can you help it?
Okay.
And another thing is I try not to put myself on any kind of restraints in terms of if I just don't have it in me during those stressed out times to socialize, it's okay to say no.
Yes.
Yes.
It is there is
Yes.
power in saying no.
Yes.
It doesn't mean you don't love those people. It just means, guys, I can't do it. Like, I don't have it in me because it's going to my tank is already emptied and that's going to like crush my tank. Like,
Yeah.
my engine's going to implode if
Right.
I don't
We're
give
gonna
it
have
time. Yeah.
yes.
I have like fear of experiencing things. Like, I have opposite FOMO sometimes where I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. I'm tapping out. I'm tapping out, and it's going to be best for everybody. Because if I'm at a function, I can't sit back and be the
No.
bystander.
I can't
If
either.
I'm
I
at
like
a
can't go
function,
and think.
I am at
Yeah, I'm like,
a
I can't go
That's
into
right.
things and be like, I'm just gonna be real chill.
No.
I'm just gonna not overextend myself. No, I'm gonna be
I'm hanging off a chandelier.
literally standing on
hanging
a
off-
table telling jokes or
Hanging off a
something. You
chandelier
know,
nude,
like
entertaining everyone.
Macaroni.
What about macaroni? My chicken's coming along.
yeah,
Well,
that's the thing. Like, I can't, it's
We're like,
all or nothing.
Don't worry about macaroni.
Don't worry
But
him.
no,
Or
and
her.
I used to like in my burnout. Well, I can see this now. When I was kind of like recovering from it, I told somebody, I was like, my job from now on is to fan other people's flames. I am a bystander.
Yeah.
I am not the main character.
But how did that work out for you?
Oh,
It never works out
Lord.
well.
It
I
can't.
couldn't. I take over.
It's who
I
you
get- I
are.
literally steal the microphone away from somebody.
That's
And I'm
right.
like,
Yeah.
okay, this is how. No, but that's okay too.
That is.
But I love that. I mean, I am just now, okay? Like this podcast, one episode, I was like, this is me talking to you, but also talking to me. I want to look myself.
I'm telling myself these things.
I want to look myself in the eye
Yeah.
when I hear this. And I am learning that about saying no and listening to yourself and being okay with that and being okay with recharging and being okay with telling people that you're not okay. You don't have
Yes.
to blast
That's
it
right.
on Facebook. You don't have to tell a million people, but you need to have somebody.
Yes.
You
that
need to tell
it
the
to.
important people in your life that you're not
Confidants.
okay.
And because you need to unleash that and get their
Yes.
perspective on it and
Yes,
just let them know.
perspective.
And so they will check in on you.
Yes.
It's so important.
Yeah.
And it will seem, I don't know, whatever my Enneagram is, like I don't want anybody to worry about me ever.
Yeah, I want to take care of other people.
Yeah. So it's so hard to open yourself and get to that vulnerable spot where you're like, I'm usually the one trying to give advice, but like I really need some advice here.
Yeah.
And
But-
I need you to help me.
People will honor that. They will not honor that because they will not expect it if you don't tell them.
That's right.
Right.
They don't know. They think you're perfect. Because at my most miserable, I could have still gone to a dinner party if it wasn't COVID and chameleoned myself.
Oh, yeah.
So that everybody thought, well, Tyler is like on
totally
his A
fine.
game. He's great. And inside, I'm literally like the dog meme. Like everything's on fire.
Yes.
And I'm like, everything's
yeah.
great.
It's
Everything's
wonder
fine.
you. Yeah, you just tell me all of your stuff that I have literally no capacity
Yeah.
for right now.
And so people are talking to me and I'm like glazed over thinking like, I cannot wait to get back to my recliner.
yes, go like you said, call it out. Put words to it because once you call it what it is, like I'm gonna preach. I'm
Do
over
it.
here like about to preach, but
Do
it's like
it.
the Bible talks about that there's power in, the power of life and death is in the tongue. And I think about that all the time because you can speak it out, but then you can speak positivity over it. Like this is where I am. I'm going to like not run from that, but like I'm going to speak positivity that it's a phase. I am absolutely not stuck here. You are not ever going to be stuck there. Like whoever is listening, you're not going to be stuck there because
It's
trust
not
me.
permanent.
But you feel like it is. And so I think that's so key to just tell somebody whatever it is, like, and you might think it's the silliest thing in the world, but as soon as somebody tells you that they felt that too, you're immediately, it's like,
A weight is lifted.
you
Yeah.
can take a deep breath.
Yeah.
So anyways.
And I think it's also important not to don't make rash decisions when you're in that mindset
Yes,
because I had
yes,
several
yes.
opportunities pop up when I was in that deep dark hole. And I had to really get some feedback from my close circle to be like, do I need to go down this path? Is this
Right.
crazy?
So I think those are all like, I always want people when they listen to this to have like tangible, like
Yeah.
what can they take into their life? And so I think you've given us like, I mean, that's so
So
like,
many
I'm
things.
just soaking it all in, like
Being
all of
okay with
that.
not being okay, reaching out to people, talking about it, opening up your options.
Being not your identity not tied to
That's
one
right.
thing.
Yes.
Fight that. It will be a fight.
You
It
may
won't
love
be-
your job. You may end up hating your job, and you may quit and come back 10 years later and be at the same job again doing something completely
okay.
different.
Right. And that's fine.
I mean, I may go back to the Y at some point. You know what I mean? In a bigger role. So I try to be open to it.
I love
Yeah.
that.
There's
I
no
think we can all
reason
do
that you have to be this is what I'm doing
Right.
and put yourself in these boxes.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so now to divert from Burnout City, USA, what would you like? What are you going to go back and tell yourself if you could go back and
Oh my
give yourself a
God.
piece
Say
of
like
advice?
18 to 21. Those
oh
years.
my Lord. Okay.
Because those
well,
are like really formative years, I think.
Yeah, I feel like that. I honestly, this is not an exaggeration or a joke. I feel like my brain has blocked out 6th grade through 12th grade. I have little to no vivid memories of middle school or high school because it was such a miserable time for me. And I know that's not the same for everyone.
Right.
But for me personally, it was a terrible time. So I feel like
I go back and give you a hug. and
I
say,
know.
I know. Like,
Sixth,
I'm like
12th
looking at
grade.
your face right now and I'm
Well,
like, no.
I was
like
like
a-
fat weirdo Tyler who didn't know who he was.
But that's okay because that made you Tyler who you are now.
That's right. And that's why I will always have such a fondness for the YMCA because it's like I skipped over middle school and high school mentally and like I don't know, but then the YMCA finished raising me. So like, I feel like 18 to 20, 21 did you say?
21-ish.
21,
Yeah.
21-ish.
Anywhere you
Those choosing your path, college,
Yeah.
where you feel all that pressure of all the
The
decisions.
chain, I would say you just have to roll with it. It's going to be, you're going to face so much throughout the years. And the only thing that is going to be consistent is the constant change. And so you might as well start rolling with it now.
That's good.
And just trust the process because it will eventually get good.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's just going to be a lot
If you
of bumpy roads
There's
in
a
between.
lot in between.
That's right.
Well, we
I
don't
know
ever
that
see
there
anybody's
was pain,
they're
but you
singing again.
hold on for one more day.
breakthrough. Wait.
It's just
From the
free
chains.
Okay. Someday somebody's gonna know.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, we're like.
I'm jamming.
But yes, seriously, roll with it.
Yeah, you have to, because there's no. I mean, it's gonna keep steamrolling through. So you either get out of the way or get crushed.
Right.
And so you got to just kind of get out of the way
Yeah.
and try to take a step back and
figure it out.
don't think that you have to have it figured out. I love my teaching degree for what it instilled in me.
Right, and for what, and when you were talking earlier about the YMCA, like the YMCA raised you, like that is exactly what a good organization, a good teacher, a good, good parents, that's
Mentor.
what they do.
Yeah.
They raise you. So I hope, I get sad and I talk about, like, I want my son to live at home for the rest of his life. And my husband always says, just like my dad would say about us, like, if you do it right, they leave.
Yeah.
You
Like,
know?
that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Which
like,
is
that
scary.
means you've done
which is
a
why
good job.
you and I can never have children.
Yeah. I'm
Too
not.
scared.
I am not doing
Too
it.
scared.
Yeah, like it's
I will- no.
terrifying.
Like, mommy will be with you until
Oh,
the day you
literally
perish.
end of time.
I'm going to really struggle with this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, but it's like you're saying about like what your teaching degree instilled, what the YMCA instilled. These are all things that led up. Every experience has propelled you forward and
Absolutely.
will continue to do that. So just recognizing, I think, that each experience, it's not a fixed thing that you'll do forever.
Yeah.
Gain what you can, and sometimes it's just time to move on.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, the YMCA taught me how to train people literally. Like, I trained instructors and different team members and went to different Ys and trained people. And I kept thinking, why am I doing this? Like, why are they pouring so much into me, especially now that I'm not there in that same position? But then yesterday I was like, oh my God, I'm totally utilizing all these things that I've
Everything.
Yeah.
trained for in a completely different job.
Right.
Yep.
So
Right.
like, that deserves some mention, right?
sorry.
Not for
That
me,
definitely does
but
deserve-
for just the fact that, what you're necessarily going through right now doesn't mean that you're not going to come back to that
Right.
later in a
So true.
completely different
Yeah.
So
hemisphere of
true.
brain thought. Like, it could come back when you least expect it.
It's
And
just,
just
a
go
chapter,
ahead
not the
and-
whole
It is.
story.
It is.
Yes, and like just go ahead and know that. Just
Yeah.
go ahead
Right.
and know that, which
And
is
be
so
open-handed
beautiful.
about it. And-
Yes.
And don't put yourself in boxes. Like, I'm a realtor. I need to wear suits and ties and da-da-da-da. That's never going to be me.
Yeah.
Literally never
And
going to be.
people would never and the people that know you and
Yeah.
that work with you would be so confused.
They'd be like, where's his booty shorts?
And then that's so true. They'd be like, "Wait, you have pants?"
yeah.
'Cause he
yeah,
does-
I'm
you
wearing
do wear
jeans.
I was gonna say, I
You do
think
wear
this is
jeans.
probably like the first time I've
Tyler's
ever
always
seen
in
you
athletic
jeans.
clothing.
pants.
The
I'm wearing
first time
stretchy jeans.
The first time I seen you in jeans, I about fell out. I
Yeah.
was like, "Where's the Lululemon?"
Yeah. Oh, it's
Come on,
strange.
man.
But what I've learned is I can't feel insecure when I'm surrounded by other real estate professionals because that's them, and I'm so happy and proud for them. But that's never going to be me.
Right.
And I know that's never going to be me.
And when I'm trying to edit myself down to fit into some type of mold or box, I am so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am so weird.
You're a muted version of yourself.
yes,
And
and
it's strange.
and everybody knows.
Tyler in a suit is not a good
I
look.
will freak out.
It doesn't
I
happen because,
literally
like
buy
you
you a
said,
suit.
it's like an altered version of myself that
Yeah.
I don't like.
I don't like
and
it.
if you don't make up in your mind now that you're not going to do that, you will do that. There will be photos. You will look back and be like,
Yes.
"Who was that person?"
You have
Because
to
I
What was
can't-
convince
I
yourself that-
wearing?
and I'm not saying like,
Why did I go there?
you may
What-
be in
yeah.
a job that requires a
Yeah.
certain. I'm not saying buck that. I mean,
Right,
obviously
right.
you have to do
Be
what you got to
respectful.
do. But I'm saying like you still got to have you. Like
Yeah.
you've still got to be able to express yourself and don't feel the need to condense yourself to fit into a mold.
Yeah.
Because
I agree.
you can only fake it for so long. You're going to come out of it eventually anyway. Your true self's going to come out. So just be uniquely yourself from
Yeah.
the get-go. It's so much easier.
And if you're unique, I tell people, some people say only you could get away with that.
Yes.
And I'm like,
daily.
no, I don't believe that. I believe that I have been who I wanted to be for like many years to this point. I'm still figuring out, but there's certain things that I just knew.
Yeah.
Like a very small amount of things. And so I've always just stuck to those, and people will be like, only you. And I'm like, no, you inform people how to treat you
That's
and
right.
how
Right.
to receive you.
You set the expectations.
So if you're fake or not being true to yourself for so long, and then all of a sudden you want to be yourself, yeah, people are going to be like, whoa.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So if you can just set yourself up as soon as you can with the like foundation pillars of this is how I feel about X, Y, and Z. You don't have to have it all figured out, but I think try to find those core things that are you, because that's why people say only Lauren can get away with that. I'm like,
And how many times have
No.
the three of us heard that?
Oh my gosh.
I hear
Only
it
you could get away
every
with
day.
that.
So
I hear it for sure every day.
So many times. I would hear it every day, but my 3-year-old doesn't know how to say that yet.
Right, he will.
You can ask any of
But
my
I say that to
coworkers.
him.
Yeah.
Only you could get
Only
away
you
with
could,
that.
but-
You know, but I mean, like, that's the thing. But, you know, you're so right. Like, it's just, I'm so much more comfortable. I'm so much more proud of all of the work that I do in the salon with Bellmead, as a mother, as a wife, when I'm just being myself. You know, like, it's just genuinely from the heart. This is who I am.
Yes.
And it's less work.
It's so much easier. So much
You
easier,
can
isn't
actually
it?
enjoy stuff.
when you start stripping those layers off, like, I'm always going to be that weirdo that does like weird voices.
I love
Yeah,
it.
like, just let it
Steph's
be.
like, you are literally doing these voices that only you and I know, but to the general public. And I'm like, but
it
it's
doesn't
just,
matter.
it's just who I am.
And
And
part of that
it's
goes back to
fun.
like liking to make people laugh. You don't have to know what the joke's about to laugh at it.
They're
No.
like,
You know,
they're
like-
kind of like
You don't
half
even have
laughing,
to
half
laugh.
scared.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
like I'm not sure if they're laughing because they think it's funny or they're terrified.
and you
Yeah,
don't have to
both.
laugh with me. You can just laugh at me.
Laugh
That-
at
Yeah,
me.
that's
I
the
get
thing I tell people.
same
I'm like, I
high
don't
off of
care if
that.
people laugh at
Oh,
me.
I think we're all probably, the three of us are experts in
Yes,
being-
I will absolutely. I'm like, I am
throw it on.
my own best material.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
for sure.
I am the butt of all my jokes.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Self-deprecating to the
Oh, yeah.
extreme,
Absolutely.
honey.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what's going to make us the big bucks one day, people.
That's right.
Someday.
But
Whatever gets us the
anyways,
biggest
okay,
laughs.
guys, we could truly go on.
Like,
and on
comment, and
on,
subscribe below
but
if you want
yes.
Tyler to come back on.
That's right, honey. Now's the time.
Yes,
If you're like, I
sweetie.
loved this, first of all, again, bless your heart. Like,
Yes.
I'm so thrilled that you've made it this far.
Tyler, thank you.
Yes,
Being
thank
with
you.
us
It was
today.
so good.
I
Thanks
think
for
this
having
is
me.
amazing. I
Had a
feel like
great
we
time.
covered like so much stuff,
Yes.
and
And
hopefully,
Thank you for
somebody's
being
gonna help it.
Yeah, and
Help
thank you for
it.
being so vulnerable
It's
about
hopefully
it.
it'll help somebody.
Love
Because
being
it's
vulnerable.
not, it's not always easy, but that's my thing too. Like, I'll tell anybody anything they want to know if I
Yeah.
feel like I help somebody
Yes.
else.
It's not easy, but it's needed.
It's
and-
necessary.
Yeah, necessary. For
We got
anybody listening out there. And they may not even think they need like an aha epiphany moment, but just hearing somebody that had a similar experience may be like their moment of like aha.
Yes.
And that's
Well, and
fine
maybe
to
5
be
years from
vulnerable
now,
for that.
you
Yeah.
For sure.
kind of
So-
circle back and
I am pumped. I hope we get some good feedback.
Yeah.
If this helped you in any way,
Let
please
us
let us
know.
know. 'Cause
I would
we'll
say
bring
like,
it
comment, subscribe, but
back.
what else can they do? Like,
Like,
retweet.
comment, subscribe, share, it, put it on your
share,
story.
talk
it
to
on
your
your-
friends
put it on your
about it. Like, you
reels.
can just talk to them
Put
like
it
the
on your
old-fashioned
reels.
way.
Yeah, you can talk the old-fashioned way, but
Yeah.
anyways,
Just in
just
person.
tell somebody face to face that you liked
send it
it.
to
Yeah.
them on a
Text
link.
it to them.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think everybody can figure it out. So, all right.
Thank
We're
you.
out.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank
mean
you.
it.
Love you, mean it.
Bye.
Bye.